welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, last time we conquered Castellum Velodina. This bridge here that connects this part of the fringes to the lower paths that ultimately lead us into the direction of the capital of Alamigo. Everything alright, Pippin? You will soon start sending scouts east to survey the land in preparation for advance. You do not anticipate much resistance at this time, but should we encounter any Imperial forces, we shall deal with them quickly and severely. Okay, and we wanted to follow Nago to her people's village here. The Mikote village. Okay, here's Lys. The path to the village is through a tunnel just east of here. Follow me. This way? We may not have seen many Imperial forces thus far, but we mustn't forget this was occupied territory until very recently. They could still be nearby. So, stay careful. Hey, you. Welcome to the Peering Stones, home of the M tribe. I must give you fair warning while travelers are welcome here, any acts of hostility will be met with an arrow shaft between the eyes, no exceptions. Hey, Manago.
Ah, you've come. Welcome, friends, to my village. My home.
How fare your people?
Good, all things considered. Better than the Ananta at any rate. They've sent an emissary. I'll take you to her.
Right, they said bring the snake or something when they evacuated. So something is going on.
We're here to help. Will you tell us what happened?
Aye. It began with a quarrel between the Imperials and the Qalyana.
The Qalyana are another Ananta tribe. The strongest and the most influential. Unlike the Vera, they want no part of our troubles. They swore fealty to the Empire, and were content to remain within their borders.
Just so. The Qalyana forsook their pride in the fight and yielded to Garlemald long ago. But then a new commander was sent to hold the Black Bridge. She demanded the Qalyana surrender a hostage, this butcher.
Fordola. It doesn't make sense, though. The Vera are the ones working with the Resistance. Why would she threaten the Qalyana?
Because she is ignorant like all Imperials. She knows not the difference between Qalyana and Vera, nor does she care to learn.
I see. All Fordola knew for sure was that the resistance would come from the west. She reasoned, therefore, that if the Ananta on the east bank turned their coats, she would be trapped. I take it the Qalyana had no choice but to oblige her.
No, they did not. The Imperials left with the Qalyana broodmother's own daughter, Anamika. Long days and nights she looked out on the Black Bridge weeping for her child. Until you came. The broodmother knew at once which way the winds would blow. She and her warriors met with the fleeing Imperials in the road and demanded that her daughter be returned.
Bad idea. Fordola's not the kind to take threats lying down.
You know her well. The butcher turned her blade to Anamika and bade the Qalyana move aside. But the broodmother would not yield.
I know where this is going.
Yeah.
The Qalyana surrounded the Imperials, one of whom, whether out of fear or stupidity, cut the child down. There was naught that could be done.
What madness.
The true madness was yet to come. For in her despair, the Qalyana broodmother cried out for her daughter to be restored to life. She beseeched Sri Lakshmi's intercession.
She summoned a primal then and there?
That she did, if only for an instant. Bereft of courage and honor, the broodmother sought solace in her faith. The Imperials fled in terror at the sight of the goddess, abandoning these lands to the Ananta. Now the Qalyana bid us make pilgrimage to pay proper respects. Yet though we Veera revere Sri Lakshmi as the holiest of the holy, we will not prostrate ourselves before her.
And so you turn to us?
Aye. All who have fought with the Resistance have heard tell of the warrior, the Icon Slayer.
That's me.
I believe we have heard enough. Inconvenient though the timing may be, if a primal has indeed been summoned, we can scarce afford to ignore it. We must needs discuss how best to resolve this situation.
Okay. Another primal. Because there's nothing else to do, right? With the Imperial surrounding us? At the very list of sounding hopelessly naive, there may yet be a way to avoid a violent confrontation. In the past, I fear I have been rather too willing to accept that we have no other recourse than to risk our lives, or rather your life, to address these threats. Yet the primal we have faced thus far have demonstrated a variety of temperaments and objectives. Ravana may be the light in battle, but Ramu would sooner keep to the forest with its children. Ere we decide to challenge Sri Lakshmi, it would seem wise to learn more of her nature from those who summoned her onto this world. If that is your will, then so be it. To the north you will find our village. Sarisha shall unfold all. We shall leave at once. Minago, can you inform our comrades at the bridge of what happened? Of course. Be safe, my friends. And an ether current. I do it off screen. But Black Chocobo. Well met, traveler. Might I interest you in a Chocobo porter? I know many players don't even bother to get the Chocobo porter, but I don't know. I like to at least have them. Whether I use them or not depends on my mood and where I want to go. Okay, to the north. Wow, these things are noisy. Interesting architecture. We do not often receive guests. What is the purpose of your visit? Greetings and well met. We are the Science of the Seventh Dawn, and we have come seeking Sarisha of Avera. You are she, are you not? You have petitioned us for aid and succor, and we intend to provide them, but we would first learn more of Sri Lakshmi, that we might better understand the nature of the threat she poses to you. A simple request, and one which I shall gladly oblige. In the beginning was Sri Lakshmi. We were created in her image, daughters blessed with her beauty. Her breath became ours, her serenity our solace. There is naught she would not give. It was the Qalyana broodmother's desire to bring about her daughter's resurrection, which first called forth Sri Lakshmi from the ether. That being the case, I rather doubt the goddess will be spoiling for a fight. That would depend. The primal's motives will have been colored by the summoner's state of mind, namely that of a grieving mother who had just borne witness to her daughter's murder. Though she apparently craved a miracle, she may also have labored thoughts of vengeance. Moreover, the Qalyana's concept of Sri Lakshmi may differ from that of Avera. This is true. The Vera and the Qalyana do indeed regard the Lady of Bliss in different ways. To the Vera, Sri Lakshmi embodies freedom. She would not suffer her daughters to be bound to another's will, and so we stand with the resistance against the Empire, and give our lives for the cause. To the Qalyana, however, she embodies transcendental beauty, which they strive to create through their craft. To shape crystals is less art and more rituals, a sacred duty wherein each tribute is imbued with a fragment of a soul. The Imperials do not interfere with this holy work, and so the Qalyana were content to turn inward and ignore our plight. Until reality asserted itself and they summoned the primal, a fever dream to soothe their aching hearts. But surely they can see that it won't do any good. The Imperials will still rule these lands. Nothing will change. The Ananta will. The Qalyana bade the river make pilgrimage to pay proper respect, remember? Those who do not wish to partake of a primal's bliss will be made to do so. Not while we're around, they won't. Though our beliefs are not the same, we are still kin to the Qalyana. Will you help them to see reason? You can count on us. Then we shall, for without you, we may be powerless to stop them. If we do not act quickly, more lives will be lost, more families torn apart, more children made to suffer. When it's settled, we're going to find that primal and put an end to this. My sister Vashra will guide you to the Janan cart, and I shall pray for your success. Well met, Science. I am Vashra, she who shines bright and unbroken. I stand ready. We leave upon your command. Okay. The Lady of Bliss. I hope you didn't think we would get out of this without a fight. You're ready? You look ready. Dijnan cart, where you find the Qalyana's crystals and Sri Lakshmi. Follow me. Not now, not now. Maybe? We should follow their lead and let them do any fighting for now. You need your strength when the time comes. Janan Cart, the path leads to an entrance above. Within is an etherite. You must use it to enter. Understood. With me, everyone. Sneaking past. Ah, crap. There's the Everett. Looks nice.
Why, mistress? Why does my Anamika slumber still?
Look thee on her face, supplicant. Thy prayer hath been answered. Flesh sundered hath been made whole. Blood spilt runneth through her veins. Breath stolen filleth her breast.
But she hears not her mother's words, nor sees her mother's face. She is silent and empty.
Only the vessel may be remade, not so the flame which flickered within. Her soul hath been scattered to the four winds.
So it was meaningless. A life without a soul, yeah?
Now do you see her promises for what they are?
Alize, have you gone mad?
Mayhap I have, but I refuse to stand by and watch yet another tragedy unfold.
Who intrudes upon this sacred ground? Imperials, thirsting for blood!
No! We come not to shed blood, but to save you from the false god who would lead you astray. I understand how you feel. I do. You loved her with all your heart, but when the moment came, you still couldn't save her. The anguish, the anger, I know it only too well. But I also know where this path leads. To embrace a primal is to condemn yourself to an endless cycle of despair. You will never know peace.
A worm-eaten heart may find peace and serenity in service, in beauty and grace. This hath ever been my promise. Naught else.
So stop thinking and you stop suffering, yeah?
You tempt them with visions of things that can never be and leave them bereft and wanting. No illusion, however sweet, can change the fact that your daughter is gone. Remember her as she was. Do not suffer this piteous shade to tarnish her memory.
For every prayer that primal answers, it'll demand payment in kind. Do you have any idea how many more Ananta will die to feed its hunger for crystals?
They would have thee suffer man's spite and live in fear. Far better to dwell in my beauteous dream than endure so ugly a reality.
She's wrong! We hate the Empire as much as you, if you just listen!
Poor misguided children. I would spare you the torments of this cruel and misshapen world. Come, bask in my radiance. Let it fill your hearts and free you from your burdens. Abide in misery then, fools. The Ananta are more deserving of my blessing. Leave these lands and my dreamers be. I will not warn you a second time.
Is there really no way you can fight alongside you without being turned into one of our dreamers? I know, it was stupid and foolish, but I had to try, Serenia. I had to. I had to try, and I failed. So you have to fight. There is no other way. Never stop trying. It means a lot to hear you say that. It does. But it doesn't make it any easier to have to ask you to face that thing. We can but do that which is within our power. Lise, Alphino and I will go and seize their crystal stores. This will not happen again. And you, when it is finished, we will be waiting for you. Orbs, huh? Okay.
Requires of violence. Open your hearts to me.
Who are you to wake them from the dream? Where are we going?
Rest your weary souls in my bosom.
Partake of my life and love.
I shall free you from your hate.
Guess I did that right?
surrender to bliss.
This is probably an AoE, right?
Do not your souls weigh heavy? Your souls are stained.
So much stuff happening.
I shall free you from your hate.
Unless she has another trick, I think I know how this is. Okay, someone else will trigger.
Darkness holds no sun.
You did it again. You saved them. I just wish I could have been more help. So, it looks like the Ananta did have a mountain of crystals after all. Like every other tribe. Gods were all such slaves to our weaknesses.
You slew our mistress! She was our hope! Our salvation! Is there no end to your cruelty?
Listen to me, please. I know that you're only trying to protect yourselves because you feel frightened and alone. But that's how we all feel. Don't you see? If we could just turn to each other for help instead of the gods, I'm sure we could find a way to live in peace. Your crystals are important to you, aren't they? Reflections of your souls, right? Well, you shouldn't have to sacrifice something so precious to a primal.
Who are you to question our choice? You who fight without fear? We wish only to live in peace. And if this be the price we must pay, then so be it!
I know there's nothing I can say to convince you. But I hope that one day you look back and see we only ever wanted the same thing.
Begone, damn you! Spare me your hollow words, and leave me to mourn.
I'll go. But it doesn't mean I'm giving up. Girabania is our home too. And one way or another, we're going to have to learn to live together. Come on. Alphino and Alize are waiting.
I guess we won't be the nicest neighbors. Let's hope then it won't be as bad as the Amalja in Ulda. Meanwhile, in the royal palace of Alamigo.
Ah, the savage returns, and with her tail firmly between her legs, beaten by beastmen, I hear.
It was a shameful display, by all accounts. She may have curried the Viceroy's favor with her bold promises, but in the end, she's just another plodding bungler like the rest of her kind.
Big words from people who just stand around in a palace talking bullshit.
Strange. You would think him a better judge of character. Then again, I hear she's not averse to a more physical mode of persuasion.
I thought she rose through the ranks rather quickly, but no longer. If only she had been content with her lot, she might have lived to see the morrow.
Fadola Rem Lupus. Commander of the Crania Lupi, reporting as ordered.
Why do you tremble so? Could it be that the Empire's butcher is afraid? That she who walks with death is terrified of her own?
I'm terrified of dying having achieved naught. Gladly would I give my life to win a great victory on the battlefield, had I but the strength.
Alas, you do not. Indeed, you are weak. And born of this weakness is a blind fervor, a raging inferno which threatens to consume not only you, but everyone around you.
Yes, my lord.
You were defeated by the Resistance on several occasions. You misjudged the Ananta and spurred them into summoning an icon. Have you anything to say?
I do not, my lord. My failures are my own. I am prepared to accept your judgment.
And that is very admirable. However, I've had enough of this dumb show. Give voice to that hunger I see in your eyes, or I will pluck them from your head.
I want... I want to make them pay! All of them! Everyone who ever mocked or looked down on me! I want the power to make them pay!
Very well. Then I shall give you a chance. A chance to transcend your mortal limits. Assuming, that is, you are prepared to wager your life for such power.
Transcend, my lord. I came here prepared to die. Tell me what I must do.
And you? Okay, what was that all about? I wish we could have left on better terms, but that was never going to happen. It could be a problem if they get their hands on any more crystals, though. Never mind, we'll deal with that when the time comes. Okay, but I think this is a good place to end this episode. Until next time, when we, look where this path leads us. I'm Mace, and don't get lost.